No one is coming to save you. Not your lover, not your parents, not your boss, not your best friend, not this world. You can keep living like someone is going to show up and pull you out of the mess you are stuck in. But the truth is they will not. And that is not a sad thing. That is what makes you strong. Because from the moment you realize no one can save you but yourself, you start taking back control of your life. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop asking for permission, and you start living. No more running. No more excuses. No more putting off that so-called start day, because that day is today. You think you need more motivation? Wrong. You do not need more motivation. You need fewer excuses. Because success does not come on the days you feel inspired. It comes on the days you feel like doing absolutely nothing, but you do it anyway. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. But commitment to yourself, when trained and sharpened, will never leave you. People do not give up because they have no dreams. They give up because they have no discipline. They set big goals, but live as if it is perfectly fine to delay just one more day. But you are not that person anymore. Today you choose a different lifestyle, a higher standard, a new mindset. A mindset that does not wait for emotions to act. So a mindset that acts to create the emotions. Chapter 1, no one will come to save you. There is one truth, whether you like it or not, that cannot be denied. No one is coming to save you. No one. Not your partner, not your parents, not your best friend, not your boss, not the universe, not anyone except yourself. You might continue living as if someone will come to help me. Someone will believe in me, pull me out of despair. Someone will appear at the right time, and everything will change. But there will be no one. No one will step into your life and carry all your burdens. No one will work for you. No one will train, learn, or endure on your behalf. Everything is on you. And you may feel pain, feel lonely, feel empty when you accept that truth. But do you know what? The sooner you accept it, the sooner you take back control. Listen clearly. No one owes you anything. Not the whole world owes you. Not because you have suffered, life will become easier. Not because you have tried, the world will favor you. Life is not fair. Life is neutral. It responds to the energy you put out. If you sit there complaining, I am not being helped, I lack the resources, I am not lucky, then sorry, you are giving away control to everything except yourself. The more you blame, the weaker you become. The more you wait, the more opportunities slip away. But if you dare to lift your head and say, I take responsibility for everything I am living through, then that is the day you begin to become your own rescuer. Do not misunderstand. Someone may love you. Someone may cheer for you. Someone may want you to succeed. But no one can live your life for you. No one makes decisions for you each morning. No one holds the commitment in your heart each night. No one stands in your emotional storm except yourself. Everything you want, a better life, freedom, self-respect, belief in yourself, success, all demand that you walk toward them. No one pulls you out of bed every morning. No one patches the cracks in your heart by saying, I believe you can do it. No one places your feet on the path to move forward, endure, persevere, except yourself. And understand this clearly. There are no shortcuts, no miracles, no lifelines. Someone might take 5 years to change their life. Someone might take 10 years. Someone might start from negative, no money, no knowledge, no support. But they still start. Because they know waiting is the thing that kills the most dreams. You can wait for someone to help, or you can start helping yourself. Which will you choose? The choice is always clear. Either you take control or you become the victim. Being in control means responsibility. It means not blaming. It means standing up after every failure and asking, what did I learn this time? Being a victim means blame. It means delay. It means waiting for someday. It means living by others' expectations and calling it safety. Do not live like that anymore. Do not trade your life just to be forgiven for procrastinating. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, if I do not change today, what will I become a year from now? Let that question make you uncomfortable. Let it disrupt every excuse. Let it shake awake the part of you still hoping for a miracle, because no miracle is coming. Only you. You are the one who must speak up. You the one who must act. You the one who must show up for yourself. Not when I have time, but right now. You must be the one to fight through the fog, to push through the tired days, to rise on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. You must be the one who stops saying I wish and starts saying I will. The real power, it is not in the perfect plan or in waiting for the stars to align. It is in showing up messy, showing up scared, showing up uncertain, but showing up anyway. Because when you do that again and again, you build something that no one can take away from you. Trust in yourself. Trust that you are capable. Trust that you can figure things out. Trust that no matter how long it takes, you are worth the fight. You become the kind of person who does not flinch when life gets hard. You stop looking for exits. You stop needing rescue. You become your own anchor, your own light, your own guide. And slowly the weight begins to shift. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. This is not about pretending to be invincible. This is about knowing that even when you are tired, afraid, uncertain, you are still moving forward. You are still showing up. And in a world where most people are waiting for something or someone to save them, the one who saves themselves becomes unstoppable. So do not wait, not for permission, not for clarity, not for someone to believe in you. Because when you believe in yourself, that is when everything changes. No one will come to save you, but you can rise, you can choose, you can act, you can lead. So when you find yourself stuck, when the voices in your head get loud, when fear knocks and doubt creeps in, remember this: no one is coming to save you. No external force, no perfect opportunity, no waiting game will bring breakthrough. You do not need permission to begin. You do not need someone else's validation to step forward. You do not need to wait for rescue. What matters is one decision to stop waiting, to stop relying on external approval, to stop expecting someone else to pull you through. This is your life. This is your call. This is your time to act. Yes, you may fall. Yes, you may fail. You will face days when hope wanes and uncertainty overwhelms. But every time you choose to stand, every time you decide to keep going despite fear, you reclaim your life. You become your own savior, not by avoiding pain, but by walking through it. Not by being saved, but by choosing to save yourself every single day. You don't wait for someone to rescue you. You rescue yourself. When you make that choice, you no longer ask when will help arrive. Instead, you say, I will start right now. When you make that choice, you stop waiting for rescue. You accept responsibility for your actions. You build your own path. No one will carry your burdens. No one will do the work for you. No one else will endure your discomfort, so you don't have to. Everything you want, a better life, freedom, pride, belief, success, you must walk toward it. No one will drag you out of bed. No one will heal your cracks with empty encouragement. No one will set your feet on the path but you. And yes, no gas station exists to fill you up. No shortcut, no miracle, no magic plan. Some people took 5 years to change their lives. Some took 10. Some started with nothing, no resources, no guidance, no company. But they started because they understood one truth. Waiting kills more dreams than failure ever will. You can wait for rescue, or you can decide I will rescue myself. Either you take control or you become the victim. Control means responsibility. Control means learning from setbacks. Control means acting rather than blaming. To cling to victimhood means giving away your power. It means hoping tomorrow will fix today. So look in the mirror and ask yourself, if I don't act now, where will I be in a year? Let that question unsettle you. Let it break every excuse. Let it wake up the part of you hoping for rescue. Because there will be no hero, no savior, no waiting for someone to fix things for you. Only one person can save your life. You. You are the one who must stand. You are the one who must begin. You are the one who must show up even when no one else does. The greatest strength does not come from waiting or expecting rescue. It comes from standing firm in the storm, from rising when no one cheers, from choosing yourself every day. When you act on your own behalf, you begin to build trust in yourself. Trust that you can handle difficulty. Trust that you can endure uncertainty. Trust that despite the struggle, your worth remains yours. You become a person who does not shrink when challenged. You stop looking for exits. You stop praying for rescue. You become your own anchor, your own decision maker, your own guiding light. Gradually, everything shifts, not because life gets easier, but because you become stronger. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more placing your fate in someone else's hands. Because you know, until you step in, no one will come to save you. Only you can choose to rise. Only you can claim your own power. Only you can step forward and lead your own life. And when you choose to do that, that is always enough. Chapter 2, focus all your energy on yourself. If you want to change your life, the first thing you must do is stop looking outward and start looking inward. Because every time you focus on someone else, you are pulling energy away from yourself. You do not fail because you lack opportunity. You fail because you are too distracted, too busy scrolling, too busy watching where others are going, what they are doing, too busy comparing your life to the highlight reels of others. You are placing your precious energy into things that do not help you move forward. And the scariest part is it happens every single day quietly. You do not realize it is wearing you down. You do not realize you are trading your future for entertainment in the present. But do you know what is amazing? You can reclaim your attention. And when you do, your life will change. Because focus is the greatest superpower the modern world is losing. Winners are not the most talented. They are the ones who can focus the longest. They do not do more than you. They just do not let themselves get pulled into what does not matter. And to do that, you must start with one decision. I will stop pouring energy into what does not nourish me. That might mean turning off phone notifications, unfollowing people who make you compare, spending 30 minutes each morning reading instead of scrolling, writing your goals down on paper, asking yourself every night, what did I do today to get closer to my goal? These small actions, when repeated, will reshape your entire identity. You will begin to feel in control. You will clearly see your progress. You will feel more confident because life starts responding to your focus. But do not expect it to be easy. True focus is not for the weak-willed. It is not sexy, not flashy, not fast. It is a process of choosing two. Between watching one more video or planning tomorrow, between sleeping 15 more minutes or waking up early to study. between compromising or keeping a promise to yourself. And that choice will repeat every single day. That is where you need to show up, not at the finish line, but in the tiny daily moments where your habits are being tested. Most people fail, not because they lack potential, but because they do not focus long enough. They start something and then lose patience. They see others moving faster and then give up. They think maybe this is not for me and chase something new. But the truth is, it is not that it is not for you. You just have not committed enough. And commitment on a focus repeated every single day. Nothing solid is ever built on shallow effort. If you are truly serious about your life, ask yourself, what am I focusing on each day? Is it consumption or creation, complaining, or taking action, watching others, or building a better version of myself? Do not let your life be swept away with the crowd. Do not let the noise outside become louder than the voice inside. Even your technology and leisure can become thieves of focus, mindless videos, endless scrolling, impulsive likes. These may feel harmless, but they are silent drains on your attention day after day. Remember, the world does not reward the busy. The world rewards the focused. And your focus is limited. Treat it like the most valuable asset you own. Every second you give away is a vote. You are casting a ballot for the future you want by how you use your time and attention. If you feel like you have lost direction, it is okay. Every transformation begins with one moment of clarity, a pause to reflect. And if today is that moment, then start now. Cut one distraction. Do one thing that brings clarity. Sit with a blank piece of paper and write, if I only had 6 months to live, what would I focus on? That is what you should begin today. From now on, turn off notifications after a set hour. Limit social media checking to strict time windows. Replace 10 minutes of scrolling with 10 minutes of reading or planning. Review your daily habits weekly. Celebrate tiny wins, writing one paragraph, avoiding a comparison, saying no to distraction. These are not dramatic moves. They are subtle, consistent decisions that grow into something powerful. You reclaim your mind bit by bit. You reclaim your time moment by moment. You build momentum not through multitasking, but through single-minded focus. Over weeks and months, you will feel your pace pick up. You will feel moments of calm instead of chaos. You will see progress that once felt invisible. That is the reward of focusing on yourself. So take your focus back and use it to build the life you know you deserve. Start today. Fuel your future with your attention, because that above all is where change truly begins. Chapter 3, show up for yourself every day. There is one thing all successful people do without exception. They show up every single day, not just when they feel inspired, not when the weather is nice, not when someone is cheering them on, but every single day. Because they understand this, no one becomes successful from a one-time event. Anything lasting is built through consistent commitment. And this might sound simple, but it is that very simplicity where most people fail. They show up for 3 days, they push for 1 week, then disappear for a month. They let feelings decide their actions. They wait for motivation to come back. They say, I'm tired today, and end up tired for the rest of the year. But you are different. You have learned motivation does not come before action. Motivation is the result of action. You cannot sit around waiting to feel excited. You cannot wait for the right mood. You must become the kind of person who acts, even when they feel absolutely nothing. That is the most reliable kind of person. The one who can count on themselves. When you say, I will do it, you do it. When you set a goal, you stay with it. No one is pushing you. No one is watching, but you show up for yourself. And that consistency over time builds a version of you that no one else can touch. While others wait for the perfect moment, you have already taken action 100 times. While others need external validation to begin, you have already validated yourself. While others are still chasing the spark, you have built a solid system of habits. That is the biggest difference. You do not have to be perfect every day. You just need to show up day after day. Show up at the gym even if you are tired. Show up at your desk even if you are sad. Show up for your goals even if nothing feels clear. Because you understand success is not instantly visible. It comes after hundreds of days where you refuse to quit. And when you keep showing up, you are doing something incredible. You are building trust with yourself. Not hollow confidence, but real trust forged through real action. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you grow stronger. Every time you do what you said you would, you reinforce your self-worth. On the other hand, every time you give up, every time you break your word to yourself, you chip away at your confidence. And if you keep doing it, you will eventually destroy the very foundation you are trying to build. So make this one commitment: I will show up, no matter what. Showing up does not mean running 62 miles a day or about 100 kilometers. Sometimes it is just 10 minutes of writing down your goals. It is turning one page of a book. It is choosing one healthy meal. It is one small decision: I will not procrastinate today. These small actions added together will define you. And you know what the best part is? When you show up long enough, you no longer need willpower, because it has become your identity. You are not forcing yourself to do it. You do it because it is simply who you are. And that is power. That is freedom. That is something no one can take away from you. You built it. From tiny quiet days when no one clapped for you, from silent moments when it was just you and you alone, and you made a choice to show up. Every day you show up, you are moving closer to the future you deserve. And nothing, no one can stop you, except you. So ask yourself every morning, who will I show up for today? The answer should always be, for myself. And here is something you must remember: showing up does not always look heroic. It does not always come with fanfare or fireworks. Sometimes it looks like waking up early to stretch even when no one notices. Sometimes it looks like sitting down to work with a heavy heart, but still doing your best. Sometimes it looks like saying no to what feels good now in order to say yes to what matters more. Showing up is not about perfection, it is about presence. It is about being there even when it is hard. It is about doing the small things, the invisible things, the things that do not bring applause but bring growth. This is the work most people avoid, and the exact work that changes lives. Because when you show up for yourself again and again, you begin to believe something powerful. I am someone who can be counted on even by me. That belief is priceless. That belief makes you unstoppable. Most people show up for their boss, for their deadlines, for the people they love. But they forget the one person they must always show up for first: themselves. Because when you neglect yourself, everything else begins to crumble quietly, slowly, then all at once. You become tired, disconnected, resentful. You begin to question your path. You lose motivation not because your goal is wrong, but because you have not been present in your own life. So stop waiting for a sign. Stop expecting motivation to find you. You do not need to feel ready, you just need to begin. And when you fall off track, because you will do not wait to feel guilty or spiral into self-judgment. Just come back, reset, show up again. Because one of the most powerful things you can do is return to yourself without shame. Resilience is not about never falling, it is about always rising. And every time you rise, even just a little bit, you remind yourself, I am still in this. You build a quiet kind of strength, a kind of peace that comes from knowing you are doing the work, the inner work and the outer work. You do not just show up to chase goals. You show up to protect your peace, to preserve your energy, to keep your word to yourself. And that right there is how you build a life that lasts. So tomorrow morning and every morning after, do not ask for motivation to knock on your door. Instead ask, what can I do today that proves I have not given up on myself? Then go do it. Even if it is small, even if no one sees it, even if it is hard. Because with every small step, every small effort, every moment you choose to show up, you are building something unshakable. You fully present, fully committed, fully engaged are more powerful than you think. So keep going, no matter what, because you are worth showing up for. Every single day. Chapter 4, Overcoming the Fear of Judgment. On the journey of personal transformation, there is a barrier even bigger than laziness, procrastination, or lack of time. It is the fear of being judged. Have you ever found yourself about to do something bold, but then stopped because you thought, they will think I'm weird, my friends will laugh if I fail, people will judge me for not being good enough? You are not alone. What stops most people is not a lack of ability. It is the fact that they care too much about what others might think. Worse yet, we often do not even realize it. We tell ourselves we are waiting for the right time, waiting until we are ready, waiting to learn more. But deep down, we are just afraid of being judged. That fear holds your voice back when you should be speaking. It keeps your ideas hidden when they deserve to be heard. It makes you play small even when your heart wants more. And the saddest part, most of the time, no one is actually paying that much attention. Everyone is busy with their own lives. They might glance at you for a second, then go right back to thinking about themselves. The fear of being judged is more often than not a story you make up in your own mind and then surrender to it. So how do you break free? Not by trying to please everyone, not by waiting until you are perfect, and not by hiding from the crowd. You break free by shifting your attention from them back to you. Ask yourself, am I being true to myself right now? Am I holding back just because I am afraid of what others might think? If no one was watching, would I still do this? If the answer is yes, then do it. Because your value is not measured by likes, compliments, or applause. It is measured by whether or not you are living in alignment with who you really are. Here is something powerful to remember. No one who truly matters in your life will judge you for growing. And those who do judge you usually have nothing to do with your journey anyway. They are not the ones waking up with your dreams. They are not the ones carrying your burdens each morning. They are not the ones who hear the whisper inside you that says, I was born to do something greater. So if they cannot hear it, they do not get to decide. From now on, let the voice within be louder than the noise around you. Let your reason for starting be stronger than your fear of being mocked. Let your actions speak, not your request for permission. Because people will say whatever they want. But if you keep showing up long enough, staying focused long enough, going deep enough, then your results will speak louder than anything else. And when that day comes, you will not have to explain yourself anymore. You will just smile because you will know you stayed true to yourself. You followed what you believed in, and you did not let the fear of judgment steal your future. That is the real victory, not over other people, but over the part of you that used to doubt your worth. Think about this. How many ideas have you buried because you were afraid of someone laughing? How many dreams have you postponed because you feared being misunderstood? How many opportunities have slipped away because you waited for approval that never came? And now ask yourself, what has that fear ever given you besides regret? You were not born to live in a box built by other people's opinions. You were not made to shrink yourself so others can feel more comfortable. Your life is too valuable, your time too precious to be wasted seeking validation from people who are not living your reality. Remember this. The people who are doing less than you will always have something to say. The ones who are building nothing will try to tear yours down, but the ones who are truly growing, they are too focused on their own progress to judge yours. So the next time fear creeps in, and you catch yourself hesitating before you speak up, post that idea, take that risk, pause, and ask, whose voice am I really listening to right now? Is this fear actually protecting me or just keeping me small? Then choose to move anyway. Fear loses power when you walk through it. Every time you act despite the fear, your courage gets stronger. Every time you take a step forward, the voice of judgment fades a little more. Here is one powerful practice. Start doing small things that make you slightly uncomfortable on purpose. Share something honest online. Speak up in a meeting. Say no to something you do not believe in. Each time you do, you will prove to yourself you can handle judgment. You can survive criticism. You do not need approval to breathe, to create, to exist fully. You were not made to be liked by everyone. You were made to be real, to be whole, to be free. The only approval you ever truly need is your own. And when you give yourself that permission to be bold, imperfect, and fully alive, everything begins to change. So let this be the chapter where you let go. Let go of the shame, the second guessing, the heavy weight of what will they think, and pick up your voice. Pick up your truth. Pick up your power. Because the world does not need another perfect person hiding behind a mask. It needs more real people willing to show up even when their voice shakes. And that person is you. Chapter 5. Free yourself from the trap of perfectionism. There is a quiet inner voice, a voice that whispers, do not start until you are ready. That voice is perfectionism, not about excellence. It is about fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being good enough. Maybe you have delayed or never begun because things did not yet feel perfect. You tell yourself, I will begin when I have all the answers, when my plan is fully formed, when my skills feel enough. But every time you delay, the gap between where you are and where you want to be grows wider. Here's the truth. No one begins in perfection. Every expert you admire started as a beginner. They had shaky steps, unanswered questions, imperfect work. They learned by doing, not by waiting. They risked looking imperfect so they could become excellent. Imagine if instead of waiting for perfection, you leaned into progress. If you gave yourself permission to begin even while imperfect. What if small failures became feedback, not embarrassment? That shift from perfection to progress is deeply liberating. Perfectionism kills momentum. It fosters procrastination. It silences learning because you fear being corrected. It convinces you if it is not perfect, it is not worthy. That mindset traps you in inaction. To break free, start before you feel ready. Set a start date even if your plan is incomplete. Begin small. Begin imperfect. Begin today. Write one sentence. Take one step. Publish a paragraph. Share a draft. Do something imperfect and do it first. Mistakes are not failures. They are information. Do not shrink from feedback. Ask, what do I learn from this? How can I adjust? This mindset turns fear into fuel. It shifts your focus from avoiding criticism to gaining insight. Instead of mega commitments, choose micro commitments. Not I will write a full chapter this week. Rather, I will write one paragraph every day. Not I will exercise 2 hours each morning. Instead, I will move for 5 minutes every morning. These micro actions shape who you are becoming. Consistency builds identity. I am someone who shows up. Self-compassion is essential. Perfectionism often springs from inner pressure. When your inner critic becomes harsh, pause. Speak kindly to yourself. I am learning. I am allowed to be imperfect. Progress matters more than perfection. That kindness gives you the strength to continue. Share imperfect work. Send a draft that is incomplete. Ask for feedback on something unfinished. This builds accountability. It signals you are committed to growth. Your goal is not approval. It is movement forward. Here is the everyday magic of showing up imperfectly. It builds momentum. It silences the voice saying not yet. It turns you into someone who acts without waiting for perfect conditions. Your worth is not measured by how flawless you begin. It is measured by how persistently you continue. Progress is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about staying on the path despite them. Make this promise: I will begin before I feel ready. I will learn as I go. I will show up even through imperfect chapters. When you do, perfectionism becomes propulsion, not prison. You begin to live because you can. You begin to grow because you dared. You begin to win because you refuse to wait. Mastery is not built by waiting for perfection. It comes by choosing progress each day. So when perfectionism whispers, "Not yet," reply, "I begin now." Then take one small action, imperfect, unfinished, real. That repeated action becomes unstoppable. Because at day's end, it is not perfection that transforms your life. It is the courage to show up every single day, slow, steady, with mistakes along the way, with humility, with resolve, with imperfect progress. Yes, your first attempt may be messy, but each messy attempt is a seed planted in soil. Over time, those seeds grow into what cannot be uprooted. You were not put here to wait for perfect timing. You were put here to begin. You were made to show up, meant to move, to learn, to create, even when full readiness feels out of reach. So begin now, imperfectly, fearfully, uncertainly. But begin. Because what matters is not how you begin. It is that you keep going, day after day. Show up for yourself. Build trust with yourself. Create a future defined not by perfection, but by your presence. You are worth showing up for every single day. Chapter 6, detach from the outcome. Fall in love with the process. What if I told you that your obsession with the outcome is the very thing holding you back? What if I told you that your attachment to results is the reason you feel stuck, frustrated, exhausted? Listen closely, because this could change everything. You have been conditioned to chase goals, to seek validation through achievements, to measure your worth by results. We all have. From the moment we were children, we were praised for what we did, not for who we were. Straight A's, trophies, likes, followers. But what happens when the results do not come? What happens when you give everything and still fall short? You feel like a failure. You question your worth. You wonder, what is the point? Here is the truth. Your obsession with the finish line is making you blind to the beauty of the race. Real growth, real transformation, real freedom does not come from the outcome. It comes from who you become along the way. Let go of the need to control the end result. Detach from it, not because the result does not matter, but because the process matters more. When you fall in love with the process, everything changes. You start to find joy in the effort, peace in the progress, pride in the persistence. You begin to show up, not because of what you might get, but because of who you are becoming. And that is powerful. Imagine waking up every day, excited to grow, not desperate to prove, not afraid to fail. Imagine trusting that every step forward, even the messy ones, are leading you somewhere meaningful. That is the shift. From pressure to passion, from fear to freedom, from outcome to ownership. When you detach from the outcome, you take back your power. You are no longer controlled by circumstances you cannot predict. You are anchored in something deeper, more stable, more real. The process, the daily habits, the quiet discipline, the late nights, the early mornings, the moments no one sees. That is where greatness is built. And here is the wild thing: when you stop obsessing over results, they often come faster because you are not desperate. You are not tense. You are not in resistance. You are in flow. You are in motion. You are in alignment. So ask yourself, am I doing this to impress someone or to express something? Am I chasing applause or chasing mastery? Do I love the game or just the trophy? These questions matter. They help you return to your why. They remind you that fulfillment is not found in the finish line. It is found in the stride. So breathe. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the scoreboard. Let go of the need to prove, and fall in love with the process. That is where your power lives. That is where your peace waits. That is where your real story begins. Think about this: every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once uncertain. Every strong person was once weak. But they stayed in the process. They embraced the discomfort. They showed up again and again, even when it was hard, even when it was boring, even when no one clapped. That is what falling in love with the process looks like. It is not always glamorous. It is not always fun, but it is always worth it, because every single repetition, every single try, every single failure shapes you, sharpens you, strengthens you. You are not just building results. You are building resilience. You are not just working for a goal. You are working on your character. So next time you feel discouraged, ask yourself, am I judging this moment by what it gives me or by what it is making of me? That question will change everything. Because when you shift your focus from the prize to the path, you find something much more powerful. You find purpose, and purpose is what sustains you when motivation fades. Purpose is what gets you back up after you fall. Purpose is what makes the process beautiful. So walk forward, eyes on the path, heart in the moment. You have nothing to prove, just something to live. Fall in love with the work, the journey, the becoming. That is how you win. That is how you grow. That is how you live free. Chapter 7, your environment shapes your identity. Look around you, the people you spend time with, the places you go, the conversations you have, the energy you absorb. All of it is shaping you, moment by moment, day by day, silently, powerfully. You may think your identity comes from within, and yes, part of it does. But here is the truth we often ignore. Your environment is either reinforcing your potential or poisoning it. Let that sink in. You are not just a product of your choices. You are a product of your surroundings. And if you do not choose your environment intentionally, it will choose for you. It will mold your beliefs. It will limit your vision. It will normalize your excuses. Take a moment, reflect. Who are you spending your time with? Do they lift you higher or keep you small? What content are you consuming? Does it feed your growth or drain your drive? Where are you spending your energy? Does it align with who you want to become or keep you trapped in who you used to be? These are not small questions. They are life-shaping because identity around is not fixed. It is formed, and it is formed again and again by what you surround yourself with. So if you want to change your life, you need to change your environment. You need to place yourself in rooms where growth is the norm, where excellence is expected, where excuses are challenged, where dreams are not mocked, but magnified. Because the truth is, you will rise to the standards of your surroundings, or you will shrink to them. No one thrives in isolation. Even the strongest mind needs strong soil. So upgrade your soil, curate your circle, protect your space. This is not about being perfect. It is about being intentional. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to walk away from energy that no longer serves you. You are allowed to create distance in order to protect your destiny. That is not selfish. That is sacred. Because your identity is the foundation of your future and your environment is the architect. So choose wisely, choose boldly, choose intentionally. Because the life you live will always reflect the environment you tolerate, and you deserve one that pulls the greatness out of you every single day. Imagine a gardener planting a seed. No matter how powerful that seed is, if the soil is toxic, if the sunlight is blocked, if the water is scarce, it will not grow. Now imagine the same seed in fertile soil, under the sun, with care, with consistency. It flourishes, it thrives, it becomes what it was meant to be. You are that seed. Your potential is not the question, your environment is. So look around again. Does your environment nurture your creativity, celebrate your ambition, challenge your limits, or does it stifle your ideas, mock your dreams, enable your stagnation? Be honest. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is step away from comfort and walk toward growth. Growth is not always convenient, but it is always necessary. And often, it begins by changing your surroundings. Yes, it can be uncomfortable. Yes, it may feel lonely. Yes, people may not understand. But staying small just to keep others comfortable, that is not your path. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break through. So elevate your inputs, elevate your conversations, elevate your atmosphere. Read books that stretch your thinking. Listen to voices that lift your soul. Join rooms where your future is the baseline, not the ceiling. Because repetition becomes reality. Exposure creates expansion. And the more often you place yourself in elevated environments, the more naturally you rise. And soon, what once felt extraordinary becomes your new normal. Excellence becomes expected. Growth becomes automatic. Vision becomes clear. Your environment becomes your ally. And when that happens, your identity expands to match your environment. Not by force, but by alignment. You no longer fight to grow. You simply grow because that is what your environment supports. So protect it, prioritize it, curate it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. You get one identity, one mind, one life. Make sure the environment you are in honors that. And if it does not, build a new one, brick by brick, boundary by boundary, decision by decision, until one day you look around and realize you are no longer the product of your past. You are the architect of your becoming. Chapter 8, Lead Your Life. Stop waiting for permission. How many times have you stopped just because you were waiting for someone's approval? How many dreams have you put on hold just because of a skeptical look? How many opportunities have passed you by just because you were afraid to act before being recognized? Let us be honest. Most of us were taught to play it safe, to follow the rules, to wait our turn. We were told, be realistic. Do not be too much. Stay in line. But deep down, there is a voice inside you that refuses to shrink, a fire that will not be silenced. The truth is, you do not need permission to begin. You do not need someone to give you the green light before you move forward. You do not need anyone to confirm that you are good enough. You do not need anyone to understand before you take action. Because this is your life. No one else is responsible if you fail. No one else has to live with the regret if you wait too long. So why let someone else decide when you start? Leading your life does not mean always knowing the exact direction. It means you are willing to choose a direction and walk toward it with all your heart. You might be wrong, you might fall, you might feel alone, but it is the act of choosing that will shape you. Passive people, they wait for someone else to draw the map. Leaders, they draw the map while still learning how to walk. Do not live as if the world has to agree before you can be your true self. They do not know you like you do. They did not see the sleepless nights you endured. They do not feel the pressure you carry every morning. They do not hear that quiet voice inside you, the one that whispers, I was born to do something greater. And if they cannot hear it, they do not get to decide. You are the one steering the ship of your life. If you are not holding the wheel, someone else will. And they will steer in the direction they choose. Stand up, step forward, say to yourself, I do not need anyone's approval. I need my own action. Every time you act without asking for permission, you grow stronger. Every time you say, I decide instead of I wait, you take back control. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your destiny. So act like someone who is designing their life, not like someone just trying to survive another day. Do not wait for a sign. You are the sign. You are the spark, the permission, the push. You do not need a platform. You need a voice. You do not need to be picked. You need to show up. And when you do, the world begins to adjust. Not because they gave you a spot, but because you claimed one. Permission was a trap, a delay disguised as politeness. Waiting for it is giving your power away. So reclaim it. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you your dream. The only one who can start is you, right now, right where you are, with what you have. Take the leap, write the book, start the business, raise your hand, say what you believe. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if you are not ready. Because the truth is, you will never feel fully ready. Confidence does not come first. Action comes first. And confidence is what grows when you act without it. So stop waiting. Life is not waiting. Opportunities are not waiting. Your purpose is not waiting. And the longer you delay, the louder the regret becomes. So lead. Even if it is messy, even if it is scary, even if no one claps, because leadership is not about titles. It is not about followers. It is about ownership. You owning your decisions, your time, your energy, your life. So do not hand that over to someone else's permission. Take it back and lead. Because the world does not need more people who wait. It needs more people who lead. Chapter 9, Develop an Unbreakable Mindset. No one is born with an unbreakable mindset. That mindset is not a gift from above. It is the result of training, of failure, of refusing to quit. It is built when you fall and get back up, when you are rejected and keep knocking, when you want to give up, but choose and to take one more step. An unbreakable mindset does not deny pain. It uses pain as fuel. It does not avoid failure. It learns how to dance with it. People with an unbreakable mindset do not need everything to be perfect in order to move forward. They understand it is not the situation that determines the outcome. It is your response. When everything falls apart, they do not sit and complain. They roll up their sleeves and rebuild. When plan A fails, they do not give up. They create plan B, then C, then all the way to Z if needed. Because they believe deep in their soul, no matter what, I will find a way. You do not learn this mindset from books. You learn it in sleepless nights, when the world is quiet, but your thoughts are loud. When the tears fall, but your hands keep working. You learn it when people say you should give up, and you whisper back, I am not done yet. That is when it starts. Every time you choose action over complaining, every time you choose progress over comfort, every time you choose responsibility over blame, you are reprogramming your mind. You are teaching it we are not easily defeated. And over time, that becomes true. An unbreakable mindset does not mean you always win. It means you never stop until you do. It means you do not fold under pressure. You do not panic under fire. You rise when it is hardest to rise. And the world, it may never know how strong you are, but you will. You will know that no matter how dark it gets, there is still fire inside you. You will know that no matter how heavy the burden, you still move forward, and no one can take that from you. No failure, no setback, no critic, because it is yours. Earned in the moments no one sees. Built in silence. Forged through persistence. It is a quiet kind of power, but it is invincible, unbreakable, and it all begins with one choice. The choice to show up, even when you are tired, even when you are scared, even when you are doubting everything. The choice to take that next step, to try again, to stand taller, to fight harder. The choice to say, I will not let this break me. I will use this to build me. So when life pushes, you push back. When things get tough, you get tougher. When everyone else stops, you keep going. That is an unbreakable mindset. And it is not about motivation. It is about identity. It is who you decide to be every single day. Not when it is easy, but when it matters most. So decide now. Decide who you are. When the pressure hits, when the critics speak, when the plan fails. Will you fold or will you rise? Because you are stronger than you think. You are braver than you know. And you are capable of far more than the world has yet seen. So let them doubt. Let them laugh. Let them walk away. You just keep going. Because this mindset, it is not just unbreakable. It is unstoppable. And it begins with your choice today. Chapter 10. Commit with no way back. Stay focused until you win. It is time to burn the retreat boat. No turning back. No more let's see how it goes. No more just trying this for a while. Either you go all in or you get out of the game. Because half-committed effort brings half-lived results And you were not born for halfway. Every step you have taken, every tough decision you have pushed through, every sacrifice you have made, do not let it all become meaningless just because you got tired right near the finish line. You have been discouraged, but you kept going. You have had doubts, but you still moved forward. You have been lonely, but you never quit. So do not stop now, because you are no longer at the beginning. You are deep in the middle of the journey, and every ounce of struggle, every tear, every silent battle becomes worth it if you do not quit. Commitment is not about motivation. It is about decision. You choose to lock in. You choose to focus. You choose to show up every single day, even when it is hard, especially when it is hard. Because you know focus is not a behavior. Focus is an identity. It is who you become. When you stop looking for distractions and start building discipline, it is when you set aside hundreds of temporary cravings to chase something lasting. When others drift, you anchor. When others delay, you move. When others scroll, you build. Focus means you bet everything on yourself. You do not scatter your energy. You do not divide your attention. You gather it, you compress it, you turn it into unstoppable force. Because the more you focus, the clearer you become. And the clearer you become, the more precise your actions. And when your actions are precise, your success becomes inevitable. But only if you stay committed. Not for a few days, not for a few weeks, but until you get results, until you build mastery, until you become the version of yourself you used to only dream about. Until you look back and say, I did it, and I never compromised. That is a life of no regrets. And no one remembers the one who started and then disappeared. They remember the one who started and never stopped. So today, make a commitment, not to the world, not to your followers, but to yourself. I will stay focused until I win. No backing down, no detours, no compromises. Write it down, say it out loud, feel it in your bones. Because when your commitment is louder than your excuses, you become unstoppable. Yes, you will be tested. Yes, you will be tempted. Yes, there will be moments you want to quit. But when that moment comes, you remind yourself, I did not come this far to come this far. You remind yourself, I do not need easy. I just need worth it. And if someone asks you why you have not given up, just smile and say, because I know I am worth what is waiting on the other side. And you are worth the work. You are worth the effort. You are worth the discipline. So stay locked in. Tune out the noise, cancel the distractions, get back to work. Focus until you win. That is how ordinary people become extraordinary. One decision, one commitment, one focused step at a time. You are still here, which means a part of you is waking up. The part that no longer wants to live an average life. The part that is ready to go all in, even if it means going alone. The part that is tired of postponing and now just wants to move forward. But pause for a second. Before you keep running, I want to ask you something. What will you use that focus to build a stronger body, a more meaningful career, an unshakable identity? It all begins with clarity. And that is what we are going to explore in the next video. That video will help you uncover what most hardworking people still miss. It is not that you lack ability. It is that you have not yet recognized the inner conflict, silently pulling you down. And if you have ever felt like you were sabotaging your own efforts, then make sure you do not miss the next video. Comment ready right now if you are committed to continuing this journey, and hit follow if you are ready to join me in unlocking the deepest strength within you. Because We are just getting started.